Okay, to review, because we had 3 days off, and if you didn't check in, there was no Zoom on Friday. Okay, so this one is page 10. So we did all of page 10. We had to guess which one was A. We didn't guess, but they told us if they did A, POE, and POE, whatever steps they did, we had to solve for X, and then we had to check our work to see if we were correct, to find out if there's a mistake. And if you missed it, I told you we are skipping page 11. Just cross it out. It's talking about solving it another way. And we have about 11 days of school left, so we're skipping that. Okay. We moved on. This is page 12. I emphasize work in pencil. Okay. Math and pencils go together. Math and pens do not go together. Okay. We're finding and fixing errors if we need to. So we're going through the steps. When we solve for X, we have to undo the operations, which means we follow order of operations backwards. That's why this is upside down. Then we write the steps that we did. We take our answer, we plug it in, we solve. If our answers match, we did not make a mistake, and we can move on. So we did problems 4 and 5 together on Thursday. Now it's Tuesday, and we have 2 more problems. So we'll finish those couple of problems, and we have some tougher equations on page 13. And then there's a method here called distributive property we're going to go over. And I have a lesson thing for that. Any questions?
No.
Okay. So we do order of operations backwards. So let me put that on here again. Which is A, S, M, D, E, G. So we undo order of operations. Copy that. See if I'll let me copy it. Oh wait, I don't want to do it that way. I just don't want to copy that. And then here on this side, we do it the regular way, the way we are used to. So I'll put that one on that side. So it says negative 16 is equal to 4x minus 8. So the variable is on the right side of the equation, which is okay. My goal is to get x by itself. So what do I want to do first? Because I know I need to get this x all by itself. And if I have to do order of operations backwards, what am I going to start with? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. There's a giant truck going by my house.
Plus 6.
Okay. 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 So, Ethan, you could go back and watch the videos for page 10 when you have time. That's why we record it, okay? Okay, so if I add 16 on both sides, is x going to be by itself, or am I going to have more things? Yeah, I'm gonna have more things, okay? So I want to not do 16. I want to get rid of this 8 because I'm trying to get x by itself, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But do I want to add 8 or subtract 8?
Add 8.
Add 8? Yeah, so I'm adding 8. So yeah, we do the inverse operation or the opposite. So we're adding 8 to both sides. Let's try to line this up here a bit. Okay. Right, now that I'm adding 8, color. These two cancel out. Oops. Okay. -8 plus 8 creates 0. Okay. And then I have -16 plus 8. Okay. All right, so my start is -16. And I'm adding 8. So am I going to the right or to the left?
To the right.
All right. Counting. And if I need to, how I put the 0 here, I can say 0. Okay, because sometimes we get off on our numbers because we count this as 1. This is not 1, it is 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
-8.
-8. Okay. Let me put this by my number lines here. Okay. So now we have -8. So I rewrite my equation. My simplified equation, -8 equals 4x. And 8 minus 8 is 0. I'm trying to line this up here. Okay. So now I have -8 equals 4x. What do I do next? We're following this. We're done with that one.
Multiply or divide.
Okay. And if this is 4 times x, I want to
Divide.
Good. So we're dividing both sides. And what number am I writing on the bottom? Am I going to write 4 or 8? -8. I can't see question 5. Okay. If I want to get x by itself, am I going to write 4 or am I going to write -8 to get x by itself?
-8.
So if I divide that by 8, there'll be nothing on this side, and then I'll have a fraction with my variable. Do I want that?
No, 4. 4
4.
on both sides.
Yeah, 4 on both sides. Because remember, I'm getting x by itself. So whatever numbers are with x or that are on the same side as x, those are the ones I'm using. So I can eliminate them. Now that I did 4 that is next to x, they cancel out. Is x by itself now?
Yep.
Okay, and what's 8 divided by 4?
Two.
And a negative and positive make?
Negative.
And 2 equals x. Okay. So is x by itself now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do I need to do anything else for this part of the problem?
No.
No, yes, correct. I have isolated the variable. Okay, so it says my answer I got, the value is -2. Now for my reasons, I try to make those in purple to help us. Given, what steps did I do?
APOE and DPOE.
All right.
Yeah.
So we did APOE because first we added and then we divided. So that's very good. We are writing what we did to the problem, not what it said. It said minus, but we don't write S. We added, so we write that. And even though it was times, we divided it. So that's why we write DPOE. Great. What do I do over here on the check side?
check it if it's right.
Okay. So I'm going to rewrite the problem with the answer I got for x. 4, and we said it's -2 minus 8. Okay. And now that we have all numbers and there's no letters, no variables, I follow order of operations the normal way. So where am I starting? Am I going to start with the multiplication or the subtraction?
The multiplication.
Yes, because when I'm following it, it says groups, exponents, multiplication, and division, then addition and subtraction. So we're going to times first. And 4 times -2 is?
-8.
Yeah, so I'm rewriting my whole problem, and I'm only changing my simplified step, which you said was -8 minus 8. Okay, lining everything up. Okay. So -16, the equal sign. I guess I could scoot that over a little bit for us. Equal sign, 4 and 2 is -8, and then I still bring down my -8. Okay. Now I have -8 minus 8. I need to simplify that. So my start is -8, and then I'm minusing 8. So am I going to the right or to the left?
To the left.
To the left, right. So we can say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My answer is?
-16.
-16. Over here. We have -16 equals -16. Do they match?
Yes.
Cool. What am I going to do now?
Put a check mark and then put true after.
All right. Yay, I did it. That is true. So we're all done with number 6. Now we have a fraction.
You
Can we do it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, put this over here as a reminder for us. Okay. So I want to locate my variable, and x is on the left-hand side of the equation. So what do I do first? Now, Jolene was killing this on Thursday. I mean, she was flying out all the answers. She was on. She was on fire, but that was 4 days ago. So we might have started to forget some of our steps.
-4 on both sides.
Okay, I'm gonna subtract 4 on both sides. I start with addition. It said add, so I'm doing the opposite. I'm doing the inverse operation over here. 4, 4. Up here. All right. So now this one cancels out. It is 0. 4 minus 4 is 0. I'm going to rewrite my entire equation, and I'm changing this simplified one. I'm simplifying the one step. So I got 2. I'm going to put in my x plus 4 equals. And what is 16 minus 4?
Well, 12.
12. Trying to line it up for us. Oh, oops. I'm gonna put it on the bottom. My fraction line here. Okay. Oh, why did I write 4 again? Whoopsie, teacher fails. I was just kidding. I didn't mean to write that. Okay, there we go. So now I have 2 over 3x times equals 12. So what am I going to do next? What can we do when we have a fraction?
We can divide.
Okay, we can do, we will divide, right?
I line in a 1.
Okay, so when it says times 2, we're going to divide it by 2, but I already have a 3 on the bottom. So it's easier, like how many people want to get rid of this fraction so we don't have to deal with it anymore? Thumbs up, hands up? Yeah, right? I don't want that fraction. So before I do that, I want to times first because this says divided by 3. I want to times, whoopsie, both sides by 3. So that way I don't have to deal with that fraction anymore. It's pesky. I don't like it. Oops, now that I'm timesing both sides by 3, what happens to the fraction?
They cancel out.
Yeah, they cancel out. So now these are gone. And I'm going to rewrite my equation. Hopefully I don't write the step in again. That was an accident. Not paying close attention. Okay. Now I have 2x equals, and then 12 times 3 is 12 times 3.
36. 36.
36, right? Use my number line. Okay. So now, is this looking more manageable?
Yeah.
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 Right? So yeah, so we just got rid of that. And now we're going to do what Ethan was saying, right? We're going to divide.
Yeah.
Okay. What number am I dividing by?
2.
Nice. I'm dividing by 2 on both sides. Because why am I choosing the 2? Why am I dividing by 2 and not 36?
Because it will be like a bigger number.
Yeah, okay. Might feel like a bigger number. Also, I'm trying to get x by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I divide by 36, would x be by itself?
No.
No. Okay. So the 2, the 2's cancel out. And now I have x equals 36 divided by 2.
It's 18.
Oh, yes, you were fast with that. Okay. Now I'm looking at x equals 18. So do I need to do anything else to this part of the problem?
No.
No, we have isolated the variable. Nice. So what am I going to write for my reasons? I try to make them in purple.
It's gonna be multiply and divide.
Okay, and what's the first one we did?
It was MTOE.
Oh, that's for multiply. So do you see this one?
It was SPOE.
SPOE, good, okay. And I heard someone else say SPOE, so yeah.
Was meaning something.
Okay. I heard, but I wanted to, make sure I'm giving everyone a fair chance. Okay, so we have that lowercase s. I'm trying to write caps. So first we subtracted, so that's why I wrote that one first. And then we did multiply. I know because it says times right here, which I heard MPOE. And then what do I write for divide?
DPOE.
Nice, DPOE. Okay. So we have all of our reasons. We want to make sure that we write each and every one. Okay. Now we're going back to check our work. All right. 2 times, not x, 2 times 18. 2/3. Plus 4 equals 16. And again, if you write the equation with x in it, you can, because we're using pencil, you can erase it and change it for the number. I do that a lot. You see me going back on the computer and erasing it. That's just how my mind works. So let me make my 3 here. Okay. So now I'm following order of operations, normal. So what do I want to start with?
You want to start with the 2, with 2 times 18.
Okay. So I have a fraction times a whole number. What can I do?
A line number.
Yes.
Okay. And that's why I did hear someone say that earlier for something. So we use the line on the one on this side of the paper when we check our work. So does 2 go into 3?
Oh.
No. 2 cannot go into 3. But can 3 go into 18?
Yes.
How many times?
6 times.
6 times, because 3 times 6 is 18. So I'm still on purple. Okay, I'm crossing off 18 because I'm writing it another way. Okay? So that way I don't get confused with all my numbers. Good. 3 times 6. All right, so what can I cross off now?
The 3s.
3. Okay. Cross off 3 on the top and the 3 on the bottom. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to clean it up because some of us watching or also who will watch later, it's confusing when we have all those lines and numbers. So we're just going to rewrite our problem. Simplified. 2 times 6 plus 4 equals 16. Okay. So now what am I going to do? I got rid of my fraction. Great job, guys. Am I going to do 6 plus 4 or am I going to do 2 times 6?
You're going to do 2 times
6.
Okay. And 2 times 6 is?
12.
12.
Yeah.
2 times 6 is 12.
Wow.
Checked it right here on my multiplication chart. So rewriting it. So getting easier to read, easier to look at with each and every step I'm doing. I want to keep everything in the same order. We write the entire problem in the same order as it is given. It's very, very important to stay organized. Okay. So now I have 12 plus 4. And what is 12 plus 4?
16.
12 plus 4 is 6. I can check that on my number line if I need to. So is 16 equal to 16?
Yes.
Yes. So Am I all done with this problem?
Yes.
Cool. I did not make any mistakes because my answers are equal. That means that 18 is a solution to the equation. Okay. All right, true. All right. I feel like we're starting to remember the steps a little bit more now that we had a couple of like warm-up type problems. That's why I saved these ones for today. So now that we're doing that, we're going to move on to page 13 and our tougher equations, right? They put it in quotes. As long as we know the steps, we can do it. Okay. So I will continue to write this over here for us because we're doing it backwards. And on your papers, you can write it like that too. Okay. Now it says we start with addition and subtraction, but when I look at this, the x minus 3 is here with the fraction line. So in a way, it kind of makes it almost like a group. So what I can do, whoa, I don't want that to be so, that's not skinny. Let's mess with this again, try to get it to a normal size. I can put a little grouping symbol on here for now because it's like an invisible group because x minus 3 are both in the numerator. So if I put these parentheses up here, is the minus 3 now going to be at the top or at the bottom with group? Because this is both in the numerator. Can I subtract x from 3 right now? Or I can't because I don't know the value for x.
You don't know what the value of x is.
Yeah, I don't know the value for x, so I can't do that. So it's a group. So now it has gone and moved to the bottom, our last step, undoing, right? When we're undoing the operations. So this one is kind of on hold. So I put little parentheses here. So what step am I going to do first? If it says divided by 2.
Multiply?
I'm going to multiply, yes. Because this minus 3 is now in a group. And I'm using that, the parentheses as a visual to help me understand that. I'll take that typewriter. Oops. Okay. So it said divided by 2. So I want to times both sides by 2. So now that I'm timesing both sides by 2, what happens to the 2's on this side?
Cancel out.
They cancel out. Okay. So those are gone. If I rewrite my simplified version of this. Okay. So now I don't need those parentheses anymore because we got rid of the fraction. So when I rewrite this, x minus 3, and then 10 times 2 is
20.
1, 2, 3. Okay. So now it says x minus 3 equals 20. What do I want to do?
Plus 3.
Yeah, now I'm going to add 3, okay? So if you need to use these grouping symbols for an extra visual, you can, okay? even if you want to include them, even if you didn't have them here, or if you had them here. We can't subtract x from 3 because we don't know what x is. So either way, we're still adding 3 to both sides now. So negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Those canceled out. And 20 plus 3 is
23.
23. All right. So have I isolated the variable?
Yes.
And what steps did I do to get there? What were my reasons? First, I
Divide DPOE.
oh. Well, it said divided by 2. What did we do to it?
I multiply MPOE.
Okay. Oh, why is it not doing caps for me? Button's sticking. Okay. And then what did we do?
Add.
We added.
APV. Okay. So that looked a little different, right? That was a little confusing. We have to understand how to read the problem. So whatever's in the numerator, it's kind of, I mentioned this, you know, it's probably been months ago now, but anything in a numerator or denominator is like a group. So when we were boxing our terms, a lot of us would put a box around the top and a box around the bottom. And that's why I let us do that, because in some cases, you treat them like separate groups. Okay. Now I'm checking my work. I'm curious, does that make a little bit of sense? A lot of sense? Like, how confusing is that idea?
A little bit of sense.
A little bit of sense, okay. I'm trying to get it, but not really. Was 10 instead of my x. So I wrote the whole equation and then I'm changing it for the value that it gave me. Oh, okay. Okay. Wait, I did that right. There we are. Let me scoot my 2 over. Scoot it back over. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay, so now I'm doing order of operations, right? Following the regular path that we're used to. G, E, M, G, A. Okay. So we're starting with a group. Do I want to put those invisible parentheses back up here? Because it says I divide before I add and subtract, but how do I do 23 minus 3 divided by 2? Like that, there's too much going on there.
Put their parentheses back.
Yeah, so if I need to put those parentheses back, I totally can. So I'm making them a different color, okay, so it stands out a little bit. So now, to give me that extra visual, the same way we put a line and a 1 sometimes to help us see it, the problem a little clearer. Now I have a group. So what do I want to divide first, or do I want to do 23 minus 3 first, because now it's a group? I can see clearer it's a group.
Multiply first.
So when I'm looking over here, I don't see multiply. I mean, I do have parentheses, but that means it's a group. because all the numbers in the numerator, all the numbers in the numerator, they're together like a group. So numerators are treated like a group and denominators are treated like another group. Okay. So do I want to subtract first now, or am I going to divide? Because
Divide.
okay, we can try dividing. What is this divided by 2? How can I divide that? 23 minus 3 divided by 2. Okay. So can I divide first? I have a group now. Do I want to divide first, or do I want to simplify the group first?
Group.
Yeah, I'm going to start with my group. Okay. So 23 minus 3 is 20. Okay. Rewrite my entire problem. So we don't have too many problems like this. So we have 20. Okay. So yeah, I put the group there. Numerator is the numerator is like a group, so I simplified it. And now I have 20 divided by 2. Is that something I can do? Is that something that's easier for me to do? Yeah. 20 divided by 2, is that an even number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a whole integer, I mean? Yeah. So 20 divided by 2 is?
10.
10. Yeah, so we followed those steps because it made it easier for us. Twenty divided by 2 is 10 equals 10. All right, do my numbers match?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the takeaway from these kind of problems is if I have steps, multiple steps to do in the numerator, I treat it like a group. Same thing. If I had more operations here in the denominator, I would treat that as a group. Okay. It just takes some practice. How many people feel like they just need some practice with that? Like if I had more practice, it would make more sense. But that's the first time I think we've ever really solved a problem like that. So it's most likely a new concept for most of us, right? Is this number 1? For how many people was this a brand new type of problem? Yeah, brand new type of problem. Okay. So that's why they said tougher, right? We have to really understand the language of math. Okay, this one may look tougher. Let's see. It says 3 times x divided by 2 equals 9. So what do I want to do first?
Times.
I'm going to times, okay?
Yeah.
Because it says divide?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I want to get rid of my fraction. I'm going to eliminate the fraction by multiplying both sides. Property of equality means what I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other. There we go. Now my 2's cancel out. Awesome. One less thing. They're done. Now I can rewrite my equation. I am looking at 3 times x equals 9. So even though it might be confusing because the line was under the 3 and the x, it's okay because these are always both in the numerator, but we cannot simplify that because we don't know what x is. So that throws some people off sometimes. Oh, not 9. And 9 times 2 is
18.
18. So what do I do next? It says 3 times x equals 18. So what do I want to do?
Divide by 3.
And what number am I dividing by?
3.
No.
3.
Let me get that. X all by itself. So like we're more comfortable with this problem than the last one. Okay. So my 3's cancel out because 3 divided by 3 is 1, and then 1 times x is x. Just a reminder, rewriting my conclusion now in a simplified way. So x is equal to 18 divided by 3 is
6.
6. All right. Do I need to do anything else for this part of the problem?
No.
No, I
No.
isolated the variable. Cool. So what are my reasons? What am I writing down? What did I do first?
POE.
MPOE, and then
POE.
and I divided. Good. Put it in here to check my work. Rewriting it, it says, so I'll show you how we write this. 3 times 6 equals 18, and then over here we write 2 and my fraction line. So if you notice, when I'm writing this on the left side, the fraction line is under the 3 and the 6. Okay, so if I need to put parentheses up here to remind me that 3 and 6 are both numerators. Okay? So this is now a group. What am I going to do first? Do I want to try and divide all this by 2, or do I want to multiply? Do I want to simplify the numerator first?
Multiply.
Oh, whoops. I totally wrote that wrong. Yeah, I'm going to multiply first. Sorry, that's not 18. Wrong with me. 9. Okay. Sorry. 3 times 6 divided by 2 equals 9. So I'm going to multiply 3
Teacher
times
failed.
6 first. And we just did 18 divided by 3 is 6. So 6 times 3 is
18.
18. 18 equals 9. And now to 2. So 18 divided by 2 is
9.
9. Nine equals 9. Do they match?
Yes.
Woo! What I did was, in my head, I did the problem further ahead, and I saw it was 18 over here, and realized I messed up. I was looking at the wrong thing, and then I was like, "Oh no, I'm going to confuse everyone." But nobody told me I made a mistake. No one caught that. All right, this is true. Done. I will not go into distributive property today because we are just about out of time. If you want to, I will post the link for it so you can practice on your own. But what we're going to do, I'll go over tomorrow. It's School Yourself About Distributive Law. So it's an interactive activity from School Yourself. You can practice today. And I also will be posting, not that one, an IXL to practice distributive property after we did that lesson. So we'll go ahead and do that tomorrow. But if you remember how to do distributive property, or if you already know, you can go ahead, okay? Because that is the bottom of page 13. And we do more on page 14. Okay, so I'm gonna save that for tomorrow if you need extra help, but if you know how to do it, you can go ahead and get started on that. Are there any questions?
No.
Okay. Great, so I'm gonna stop the recording.